I know there are child-free women who have never wanted to be mothers, but what about the women who always thought they'd be mothers, were excited to become mothers, and then as they got older, they see that maybe it's not the right decision for them? Child-free women who have never wanted to be mothers, but what about the women who always thought they'd be mothers, were excited to become mothers, and then as they got older, they see that maybe it's not the right decision for them? Okay, so this is something that really resonates with me because my whole life I was creating a reality that would make it so that it was safe and wonderful to bring a child in. I've wanted to really find a partner that is super loving and can, provide for us. And, I created a life that even I work remotely. I was creating a reality that would best support me being a mother. And it's something I always wanted, and I was sure it was going to happen. And now, after doing a bunch of soul searching and researching, I'm 95% sure I'm not going to have a child. So how did I get from point A to point B? How did I get from being 100% sure I was going to be a mother? It was like the driving force of my life, to now I'm pretty sure I'm not having a baby ever. And motherhood is just not something I'm going to partake in this life. So the first reason is I love my life. I don't think my life lacks anything. I'm literally in Capri, traveling around the world with my husband, who is my absolute best friend. I focus on my health, my wellness, my mental health. I'm in the best place I've ever been in my life. I feel very fulfilled, and I'm just so excited about so much. Even when I go home, I am so excited to pick up new hobbies. I'm an artist. I love to paint. I never even knew I loved to paint. If I had had a baby, I don't know if I ever would have discovered I love to paint. I don't know if I would have ever really reached a point in my own healing journey that I feel really mentally healthy every day. I don't have anxiety. I don't have depression. And that's something I really struggled with in my 20s. So that kind of goes into my second point. So another reason why I wanted to have children, now that I look back, and when I was in my 20s, I was so into being a mother because I honestly wanted to find that unconditional love. However, I found that within myself through my healing. I found that in a partnership through really working with it and putting energy into my relationship through couples therapy and really just learning communication tools and just being more mature, being in my 30s, he being in his 40s. We created this amazing relationship, and we're making so many memories together, and I feel so full of love every single day when I wake up with him that I'm not lacking and looking for a place to give my love to or receive love from. I'm not looking for that unconditional love. I found it. So I think in my 20s, I had this deep yearning for a child because I believed, the only person I ever really received that unconditional love from was my own mother. And I have a great relationship with my mother, so I'm not really lacking in this area of unconditional love. I've definitely experienced it in my life. I'm sure it's different. I know there are parents going to be watching. They feel like it's different. You don't know what it feels like to have that. It's true. I don't, but I do know what unconditional love feels like. I might not know a mother-child relationship from that dynamic, but I do know it from my own, from my own mother. So I know it's different, but I'm okay with not knowing it. I'm okay with actually the amount of unconditional love I feel in my life. And the third reason, there's so many reasons, but the third reason I'm going to talk about in this video is basically I've seen a lot of my friends become mothers. I'm 33 years old, so I've witnessed it a lot, and I've just seen how much they've changed, how much more worry they have in their life, how tired they are, how anxious they are. And I watch these girls go from being so playful and fun and just to being tired, and I'm sure it's so worth it, right? But I just know that I feel so well right now in myself, and every day I just feel better and better, and I just see them really struggling. And that's something I really want, that if I remain child free, that I want to be a part of all these women's villages. I think that instead of all of us feeling so confused about having children, if you're on the fence, get more involved in people's villages. These women need villages. They need more support. And instead of having your own child that will also need support, I would love to band together and, be able to support these women who are struggling. So that's something else I see as a benefit to not having my own child, that I can actually help my friends and my sister-in-laws who might be struggling, you know, with motherhood, that I can actually be like, yeah, I can watch your kid for an hour or two, and it's not going to exhaust me. You know, I don't know if I could really be a mother full time, but I can definitely babysit or, you know, be there for my friends in the way that you know, I think in the past other women were, and I think that has really changed in our society. So much more went into making this decision, and I'm so happy to talk about it more if it's something that you all are interested in. And I'm so happy to share more about my journey to coming to this, you know, I wouldn't even say it's a final decision, but feeling very comfortable with whatever happens in my life, if I choose to or not. But something that really helped me, and I'll leave you with this question, is instead of asking yourself, do you want kids? Ask yourself, like, what are all the possible life paths that you can take, and what excites you most? That's what I want you to really decide on, because if motherhood is the most exciting life path you can take, you should take it. You know, if everything logistically makes sense, take it. But if there's something else out there that would excite you more, allow yourself to feel that, and allow yourself to think about all the possibilities that are out there, okay? So, all right, let me know if y'all want me to talk about it more, and I would love to share more about my experience. So, sending you all big hugs. I know there are child-free.
So as some of you might know, I'm child-free by choice. My husband and I made that decision years ago, and honestly, with each passing year, we become more and more secure in our choice. It's a vibe, honestly. But when you're child-free, you have to think really proactively about how you're going to be involved in kids' lives and what role you're going to play, if any. So I do think about that a lot, and I also think about childhood kind of as a concept. And something I feel like doesn't get addressed enough is people who hated childhood not because of anything bad that happened to them, but because they absolutely hated being a child. Like, by pretty much every metric, I had a great childhood, I had a great family, really no complaints, but I fucking hated being a kid. Like, I have vivid memories of just this constant feeling of frustration that I didn't get to make all my own choices, that I had to listen to adults, even though I knew that a lot of the adults around me were stupid as hell. And I just had such a strong feeling of like, I cannot wait to get out of here being in the body of an 8-year-old. So part of the role that I really want to play in the lives of the kids that I have around me is this role of someone who really increases that sense of agency and autonomy and frankly being taken seriously. And in some ways, I think that's honestly the defining characteristic of the prototypical like cool auntie, is that she takes you seriously and she allows you to be yourself. And she doesn't talk down to you just because you're a kid. And that's especially resonant for little kids who, like me, absolutely fucking hated being a kid. Be the auntie you wish to see.
Wow, so many of you really did resonate with the post I did around shifting from this mentality of wishing to become a mother my whole life to realizing that maybe being child-free is the better choice for me. And a lot of you asked some questions, and one of the common one was asking about how my partner feels. So the truth is, for me, my partner is 44 and I am 33, and he is actually the one who wanted me to really consider it. Instead of just going through the process of life of, you know, you boy meets girl, get married, have kids, have a family, grow old together, have grandchildren. Instead of just like leaning into that traditional lifestyle, he wanted me to really consider what I wanted for my life. Because he is 44 and has kind of gone through this whole life, and he's gone through all of his friends, you know, getting married, having kids, and a lot of them having a lot of trouble with that and divorcing. He's also seen so many of his friends just love fatherhood and really lean into it. So he's seen it from both sides and just really wanted to slow down and not just go through the motions, but really make an educated and thought out decision that would best support us as a couple and both of us as individuals. So how my partner feels is that he's spent a lot of his life being child-free and sees how much joy he's had and really loves his life and doesn't really have a massive desire for it to massively change. And as we know, when you have a child, your life massively changes. And I think the older that you get, I think the less interested you are in having children in some ways, because you have created this life that it would be a lot more to change and give up than if you chose to have children young. So yes, I do think having those conversations with a partner before you really get married or really even start having a really committed relationship is wise. But if you are in a relationship that's a more long-term relationship and this is now just starting to be a decision, or your opinions are differing or changing, like just have that open discussion. And also, I come from the perspective that, choose what's best for your life as an individual, okay? So if so many people gave me this advice that like, well, if you want children and he doesn't, you have to break up with him. And honestly, instead of doing that, when I was really on like the baby focus and he was like, let's just like let things grow and manifest naturally, I was given advice from other women you have to break up with him, you have to find someone else. If you want a baby, that's the most important thing in your life. And then, it's interesting because I talked to my mom about it and she was like, actually, I don't know if that's true. You two are really happy and so perfect for each other. Maybe slow down and really think about why this partner is so good for you. If you are so happy with your partner, that doesn't mean if there's not other lingering issues, maybe it's not the right person for you. But I know with full certainty that this man is the absolute right person for me, and I have no doubt in that. And I am on the fence about having children. So instead of just uprooting my life and, making these changes because of a desire I think I may have or have had at one point, I really slowed down and really thought about what is actually best for me. And when I slowed down and really thought about what was best for me, I realized that I probably was attracted to this person because of the lifestyle he has, and the lifestyle that he has is without children. And I started realizing, wow, maybe that's the lifestyle that really resonates more with me. In the end, what I think is, to bring a child into this world, both parties have to be 100% committed, right? That's kind of what your child deserves, to have two parents who are fully committed to them. And other than that, it becomes very hard for not only yourself and the life that you're going to lead as a single parent potentially, but for that child. So my decision also stems from the fact that my husband isn't 100% on board with it. He is, kind of like into it if it's something I really want for my life, and would definitely like be a part of the process and be fully committed. He has a very big heart, and I know that, if there's a baby, he would fully step up. However, if it's not something that, he's 100% in, and I was on the fence, either or, kind of iffy about it, I just think that is not the right mentality to bring a child in this world. I think anyone who brings a child into this world both parties really need to be 100% in. So I really love this to be a conversation. I love hearing from other women. I'm not an expert. I'm literally just sharing my experience. So would love to hear from all of you, of course, and really keep this conversation going.